Hello, this is a HAARP report, and I have survived my 3 externally generated medical crises. So I just thought I would show you this amazing proof of a megawatt microwave beam being aimed at the tops of Hurricane Dorian. And this is September 5th, the morning of September 5th, visible light mode. And here we have South Carolina. And I'm going to stop it, and we're going to look at the cloud tops right at daybreak. So one thing we notice, there is a line in the cloud tops, and they're basically heating the tops of the thunderheads and creating a hot air layer aloft to decrease the convection and weaken the storm. So actually, if you make it too big, that's not so visible. Okay, so here we've got nice visual representation of a beam of some sort coming from the second lobe. This is Georgia. This is South Carolina. Here's the second lobe. So we want to see if we can't find the origin point of this long straight beam. And this thing stayed a very long time, and I can tell you why they moved it. So let's look at the Georgia map. Sorry, the South Carolina map. So we're going to look at this blob here, and we just step through, and it's going to be this. Here's the Georgia state line. Here's the first blob. Here's the second blob. Here's the blob we're looking at. It says Beaufort. And it says St. Helena Island. I wonder what's on St. Helena Island that could make a line in the cloud tops like that. Oh, what's this? Marine Corps Air Station, Beaufort, Merritt Field. Well, that could only happen if it has one of those big SBX type transmitters. I wonder if it has one of the big SBX type transmitters. Sure enough, they do. So this is a 60-foot diameter phased array radar of the SBX type that can put out maybe a 2 million watt continuous heating beam. And if you recall from the satellite image, it's aimed east-southeast, and it stays in a fixed position. So it's really east-southeast. Now I wonder why it would have to be fixed. Let's have a look at the surroundings. Well, you know, it's safely at the southeastern tip of the air base, or the marine base, and then it goes this direction. Oh, over a built-up area. What is this built-up area? Beaufort National Cemetery. So the only built-up thing here is a cemetery, and the rest of this is all a nature preserve, which is a brackish marsh, saltwater marsh. So in other words, this beam is coming from this tiny point here off in this direction where there's absolutely no people, and they probably have some kind of a perimeter control to keep fishing boats out of this area here. I mean, surely they would, because you don't want fishermen showing up here and getting fried. I mean, literally cooked. Now, you know, if someone is in that area, you need to go look for dead herons, snakes, frogs. Things are getting cooked in this area here. So let's go back to the big picture, and I'll explain why. Let me explain why they would be trying to heat this part of the eye wall, and also the timing of why this is being done. Okay, this is being done all night long when nobody's looking, and then in daybreak, they don't want anybody seeing this for obvious reasons. But they are actually shaving off the tops of these thunderheads, and that decreases the convection on the east side of the hurricane here. And then about 30 to 45 minutes after sunup, the D layer of the ionosphere has formed again, 30, 40, 50 miles up. And then they raise the beam and they start heating the ionosphere probably in this area. Very, very easy task for them. And then we start seeing circular downdrafts. It takes about 30 minutes for that air to expand from 30 miles up and press its way all the way down to the surface where it can affect the weather. Now here we actually see the circular shapes showing up. And this is right, I mean, this is like what, 40 miles away from the base. So they've got a real good angle to accomplish that. But you'll notice where they had weakened the thunderstorms on the eastern side, the storm is really starting to come apart because it's unbalanced now. So the opposite side is comparatively stronger, and the whole thing, it's like a bicycle wheel with something unbalanced. The whole thing starts coming apart. And they're saying on the Weather Channel that the rain is not as bad as they predicted, etc., etc. And that is because of this megawatt heating that went on overnight. And I need to say that I've watched Hurricane Dorian very closely every minute since it was formed. And most mornings it has these lines across the top. In fact, if we go back here, there's another set of lines, parallel lines coming down this way from this blob in South Carolina. But I've checked the map. Here you can see clearly, here's a line, actually a group of parallel lines. I've checked the map. There is no Navy base or anything there. So I think this is probably about 4 or 5 Navy ships that are paralleled and sending a microwave beam across the top there. So, I mean, that's not surprising at all. And these are British ships, but this is the type of ship that can produce a beam like that. You know, 1,000,000 watts, continuous power, extremely high resolution computer aim. And I apologize, I used to have a really great set of SBX pictures, and they're all gone from my hard drive. So, you know, the NSA just tells you what to go study because it's prohibited. So, wow. So this is another major screw up for the NOAA. And they're going to have to spend another $1 million updating their software and further distorting the satellite pictures, because you can't have the public realizing what's really going on here. Thanks for watching.